the sports world in flux. Everybody was wondering, where the hell is Doggy? And then all of a sudden, that brother Top Gun put on the shades. Tom Cruise, a.k.a. J.J. Redick, got one of those jets, flew out the country, went wherever the hell he went, and got Doggy and said, get your behind back here. The world missed you, okay? This Doggy time. It's J.J. Redick. It's Stephen A. Holla at your boys. Whoa! Let's go.
Jokic a three-pointer. It's good. Nikola Jokic continues his assault. Jokic another rebound. And the putback. He's got 10 rebounds already.
That spin move was tough.
He is showing the entire package. With all that's gone on with this spectacular play from Jokic, the Lakers showing poise and showing fight. Reed from downtown. It's a three-point game. Here comes Murray. Alley-oop to Gordon. And it's back to 6. That'll do it. The Nuggets survive the comeback and win game 1.
Good morning. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into First Take. Thank you for being with us. It is a Wednesday, and the energy is high right now. Christopher Mad Dog Russo back in the building.
Thank God. Thank God. So long farewell to Stevie A today. He's had, even JJ's on my side for a change. We've had it with him. We're going to be all over him.
JJ went to the cleaners. He got a real shirt.
I have a real shirt.
It's
Crispy
amazing.
collar. Yeah,
What?
We're good. We're good. Look at that.
What did I do?
Wow.
I've been at work, okay? JJ had
didn't
to
get
go
to
and
you yet.
threaten to sue his cleaners just to get his
I didn't
shirt
get a
back.
chance to. Come
You've been
on.
out of the country. What did I do? I've been here.
Stephen
How
A.,
were the wiener
you've
chips?
held down the network.
A lot of them to eat, I tell you that.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Vienna is the best place in the world. And I showed you pictures of Salzburg, where Mozart, Sound of Music. That's why I put him at the So Long Farewell for Steve.
You know what? Our audience loves Sound of Music.
Oh,
Could
it's
we
so
spend
good.
a little more time on that?
Oh, 16 going on 7.
Okay, let's go. I'm on my third matcha. Let's get this party started. All right, game 1 of the Western Conference Finals for Mile High in the books. The Nuggets won game 1 behind a 34-point, 21-rebound, 14-assist performance by Nikola Jokic. Combine that with his 12 of 17 shooting from the floor. Plus, he's the first player in postseason history with 30 points, 20 rebounds, 10 assists, and 70% shooting in a game. Meanwhile, the Lakers came all the way back, making it a 3-point game with under a minute left, but it wasn't enough, losing by 6. LeBron, was the slow start the problem?
Yeah, I mean, it took us a half to get into the game, and that was pretty much the ball game right there. We got to understand that, we got to start from the tip-off, and they punched us in the mouth to start. I mean, in the postseason, it doesn't matter if you cut it to 1 or you're down 20. If you lose, you lose. They're a 1-0, and we have to come back with desperation going into game 2.
Okay, Stephen A., I'd like to start with you, sir.
Yeah.
Despite the loss, should the Lakers still feel good after losing game 1?
I wouldn't say, they shouldn't feel bad. I can tell you that much. Jokic had 34, 21, and 14 for crying out loud on 70% shooting. Give the man love, credit, and all of that other stuff. He was absolutely sensational. Jamal Murray was putting on his own show performing. The Lakers were down as much as 20 or 21, if I remember correctly. And the next thing you know, they come storming back. They pull within 3. They were clearly in position to win this game despite the altitude, despite the slow start, no matter how effective LeBron James was, we know that he can be greater than what he was last night. And yet, this is the biggest thing. Anthony Davis, in the midst of Jokic putting on the show, Anthony Davis put on his own show. He dropped 40 last night, for crying out loud, in game 1 of a Western Conference Finals on the road. So you got to look at it from that perspective, and you got to say to yourself, hey, this is something that they should be happy about. But here's the biggest thing that they should be enthusiastic about. Jokic goes 5 for 5 and scores 12 points in the third quarter, continuing to put on the show that he had to put on display in the first half. And Darvin Ham switches to Rui Hachimura, defending him and basically allowing Anthony Davis to play free safety. From that point forward, Jokic shot like 1 for 6 ended up with about 2 points in the fourth quarter. Clearly wasn't as effective as he was in the first 3 quarters. So I think it's one of those situations where Darvin Ham and the Los Angeles Lakers may have found something there that Mike Malone will have to figure out, because with Hachimura defending him and Anthony Davis being able to freelance to some degree, that was something that worked effectively for the Los Angeles Lakers. So I would say they don't really have a reason to feel bad. A loss is a loss. We get that part. But there is cause for optimism, no doubt about that.
Well, I would disagree. First off, Denver's 41-7 at home on the year, and you only got 4 cracks to win a game there. They let 1 crack go away. Furthermore, if you look at the Laker pattern, they won game 1 against Memphis, then they won their home games. They won game 1 against Golden State, then they won their home games. They are 20-0 under LeBron. Well, LeBron is 20-0 when he wins the first game. They didn't win the first game here. Throw in the idea that they were outplayed for 44 minutes. Now, I understand Denver shot the lights out. I'll let JJ bring the data up in a minute. But, I mean, they were unbelievable shooting the ball. I mean, big 3 by Jeff Green. Porter made tough shots. That probably Pope, unbelievable. That's not going to happen necessarily again. But for 44 minutes, the Lakers are down by double digits the whole game. They've won game 1 in all these series. Now they've lost game 1. And Denver has lost 7 home games all year. I thought this would be a long series, but I thought the Lakers could win in 6. They'd have to win, of course, last night. I think Denver will get through in 7. And the idea, Steve, that in a short series, well, you get something out of a loss. There's no such things as losses. These are short series. You only got 4 cracks on the road. You never are satisfied with that loss. It's hard to come back from. So I think Denver in decent shape.
Yeah, you're making reasonable points here, Mad Dog. I'm not sure what happened in Austria. And also, is it data or is it datter? Is it data?
No, it's data.
It's data.
See, Stephen A. does the same thing. They add R's, these New Yorkers.
Data. All right. I
of that.
think you can find some encouragement. I want to go back to LeBron's comments, though, in terms of the slow start. Lakers played great offensively in the second half. A lot of that start was bad offense. It was turnovers leading to transition points. Every single time Nikola Jokic got a defensive rebound in that first half, he would push the ball in transition. The Lakers were jogging back. So a lot of the comeback wasn't just the defense. It was the fact that the Lakers started making shots. Now, here's the data. Going forward, can you expect the Lakers to shoot 46% from 3? Can you expect the Nuggets to shoot 45% from 3? Probably not. Game to game, every game is a little bit different. But I do think the Lakers found something in that second half. Stephen A., you brought up Roy Hachimura, and I think it's important to note what exactly they were doing. So let's roll the tape right here, because they switched Hachimura onto Jokic in that fourth quarter.
Going forward, but once again, like when you look at what you saw in the second half, we're in for what should be a great series. But let's also remember that game-to-game adjustments are made. We use that word all the time. We talk about coaching. We talk about adjustments late in games and then from game to game. So how now will Michael Malone make those adjustments? And, JJ, you brought up a great idea on one, which is certainly to get Aaron Gordon out of the dunker spot, and that will keep Anthony Davis from being that rover that can help out and be such an impactful defensive player like he was in the second half.
Right. I mean, first of all, I hate the dunker spot. I don't want to go on a full-on rant on the dunker spot, but I think it serves no purpose. And I know there are some coaches that swear by putting non-shooters in the dunker spot. I'm not a fan of it, and I'll tell you why. Can I tell you why? I'm going to tell you why. The dunker spot is basically that little hash mark on the baseline, about 7 feet, couple feet outside the paint, right? That's where we park the non-shooters. So if you're playing with any shooter, KCP, Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, by putting Aaron Gordon spaced out to the three-point line, first of all, I'm totally fine if I'm Mike Malone with Aaron Gordon shooting 5 or 6 open threes in a game. I'm totally fine with that if they're going to play off of them. But you become a free screener. You become a free DHO guy. I played with Ben Simmons. That's how teams played him off the ball at times. As soon as you swing the ball to Ben Simmons, guess what? He's coming dribble handoff with me. So if you're Aaron Gordon and you're being ignored by Anthony Davis, get the basketball on the perimeter and go to a dribble handoff with Michael Porter Jr. Anthony Davis is not going to be able to recover in time. You've got a clean look. That's one adjustment. The other thing they got to figure out, because I don't know if you want to go to full-on switch, but they've got to figure out a better way to handle the Jamal Murray targets. When LeBron James is trying to bring him into pick and roll, Anthony Davis a little bit too with some inverted pick and rolls. You know, he's switching at times, he's showing at times, But that was a big thing for the Lakers in the second half. The 2 Austin Reeves threes were as a direct result of bringing Jamal Murray's guy, Austin Reeves, into the pick and roll against LeBron. And if they can figure that out, I think they have to rotate better. I would go full-on rotation, bring Michael Porter Jr. out of the corner, have Jamal Murray sprint to the corner. They've got to do a better job of that.
You know, what do we trust in Game 1, right? What are the things we trust?
Nikola Jokic.
Of course. That's the obvious one, right? We trust his performance. 30-10-10, write it in, because you expect that he's going to hit those numbers or at least come close to them. But do we trust 46% shooting from 3 from the Lakers, which I think they're probably going to need to be high percentage three-point shooting team in this series if they're going to win this series? Do we trust that they can shoot at that kind of rate? Now, that's a ridiculous rate. Both teams were.
Yeah.
But which one do we trust? Do we trust Jokic's performance, or do we trust the Lakers' three-point shooting performance?
It's a great question. And I'll say this. You've got to play great offense against the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
And that to me was as much of this comeback as anything. Because the bad offense in the first half led directly to the Nuggets getting out in transition. Michael Malone talked about this after the game. He thought their transition offense in the second half wasn't as good, and some of that was because the Lakers were playing good offense.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point. We'll see what happens in Game 2. By the way, we will have Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals between the Lakers and the Nuggets. It's tomorrow night, 8:30 Eastern. ESPN, the Countdown Crew, they're going to get things and kick it off at 7:30 Eastern. All right, fellas, let's play a little game of What's